This is the barn of a New England farmer named Thomas R. Goss. He is a widower with one child. He is a breeder of fine Guernsey cattle, fat Hampshire hogs. But listen. The sounds you hear are not made by cattle or pigs. In this early fall of 1902, there are many people indeed who question whether the sounds come from an animal at all. You're about to see the most incredible case of possession ever recorded. It's not an easy story to tell. It's been called fantastic and horrifying and funny. It is all of these things. But it is one thing more. It's true. Thank you very much, sir.
Call Samuel Mathis.
As you know, Mr. Mathers, after 3 days, the prosecution has still been unable to find a single juror who was without bias. I devoutly hope we'll have better luck with you. If not, I will move that Judge French try these defendants on the charge of arson without a jury. For no matter what the attitude of the town, they are indeed guilty of arson.
Guilty of Christian piety, not arson. That will do, Mr. Mollett.
I apologize for the outburst, Your Honor. What is your full name, please?
Samuel Mathis.
Where do you live?
Here in this village.
The exact address.
13 Sutter Street.
How long have you lived here?
All my life.
Do you know any of the defendants?
Yes, I know all of them.
How long have you known them?
Oh, as long as I can remember.
And, Mr. Goss?
Mr. Corning? Yeah. I'm Brian Christopher. Want to wire your paper.
Mr. Christopher.
You're the only reporter to show up.
Do you recognize...
Well, how many did you invite, Mr.
Serious one?
10. This is a very important thing to this village.
Mr. Matthews.
No, but not to the village of New York or Boston or Providence.
You came.
You know, I was sent by an editor with a warm sense of humor.
I don't understand.
You said something about demons in your wire, sir?
Yes?
And was it a demon who burned down this poor man's barn?
Men burned it down to kill a demon.
That's their defense?
It is.
And you were aware of certain events
Fool.
that have occurred in the
Why?
many years.
Because they can't win.
Why not?
Referring to trials.
And because, Mr. Christopher, nobody will take them seriously. This is 1902, not 1690.
In the hills, sir. Those dates sometimes are closer together than you'd think.
No, not that close, sir.
And are you descended from or in any way connected with any witch or warlock executed in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts?
I am not.
Do you believe that there were witches in Massachusetts?
I believe that there are witches here.
Witches, Mr. Mathers? Or harmless and persecuted old women?
Witches.
Your Honor, prosecution challenges this juryman. He's unacceptable.
You may step down, Mr. Mathis. You've about used up everybody in this town.
Your Honor, I move that you try the case without a jury.
The prosecuting attorney and the attorney for the defense will confer with me in my chambers.
Witches. Are they serious?
Deadly serious. Come, I'll show you.
Well, there's the barn. What's left of it?
Goody.
It'll be built again. It's been burned, rebuilt before.
Oh, when?
1691, first time. In the beginning, it was a two-room house owned by a spinster named Betty Randall. What do you think a witch should look like?
I wouldn't know. Tall, pointed hat, sunken mouth, nose up.
Betty Randall was 22. She had hair the color of corn, eyes as black as pitch, a figure that set women to screaming with rage. She was brilliant and beautiful. She was burned to death in this house, her own house, because two 12-year-old girls called her a witch.
You made quite a study of Mrs. Randall, haven't you?
She was my great aunt, 6 generations removed, I had a wish to study her, and I had the time. That's the gift of the sea. Time to read and think.
You were a sailor.
18 years, captain of the China Run. Well, any more questions, Mr. Corning? Or are you now ready to meet Roger?
Roger who? You mean the demon?
Well, the girl keeps Roger in her room now. Come along, I'll introduce you to Goss. Hello, John. This is Mr. Corning. Can we see Roger? Goss. Mr. Corning, Mr. Goss.
Mr. Goss?
Mr. Corning would like to see Roger. Get Roger.
Why?
It's all right. We don't want to look at him.
He's sleeping.
Get him.
You'll take him away from me.
Oh, no, Joe.
Roger,
9.
please come out.
Leave me be. Deja mi solo. Il sei schuld. Ich wünsche ein Zimmer mit Bad.
What's that?
Well, first he said in French, it's hot. Then in German, I'd like a room with a bath. He has quite a sense of humor.
Look, I don't understand. Why is he under the sink? Is he a dwarf or deformed or a midget or ugly or something?
None of these things, Mr. Corning. Please bring him out, Joan.
I'm sorry, love. Come on, baby.
Nil consuetudine majus.
What is it?
You're not much of a woodsman, Mr. Corning. It's a raccoon.
This is hilarious. A raccoon who speaks 6 or 7 languages? Come on. Aye, very funny. Don't the villagers get the joke?
What joke?
Well, it's a trick, of course.
Is it? What are you looking for?
I don't know, a gramophone, something.
You won't find it.
Oh, look, you can't take this seriously. I'm sorry, Joe.
The curious part is that everyone has that same reaction at first.
Even the villagers?
Even the villagers. Then odd things began to happen. Some cows died, a few chickens. Roger said he caused that because they laughed at him.
Well, the nasty little fellow.
Then the children died. Roger said he caused that, too.
What children?
A boy and a girl. One was drowned, the other was gored.
How did Roger come here in the first place?
I trapped him. I gave him the little girl for a pet.
All right, you must have an explanation. What is it?
Mr. Corning, does the term possession mean anything to you?
I suppose you mean that nonsense about an evil spirit entering the body of somebody living?
Someone or something.
I hope we're not back to Betty Randall.
What do you think, Mr. Corning?
Bonne nuit. Je suis fatigué.
Oh, poor Roger. Good night, love.
Morning. Why aren't you in church on this fine Sunday morning?
They don't want us there.
Who doesn't?
All of them in the town.
How's Roger this morning?
All right.
Joan, Roger never seems very talkative when Mr. Christopher is away, does he? It was kind of Mr. Christopher to bring you, Roger, wasn't it?
I never had a pet before. Once I had a doll. It was made of paper. It blew away, I think.
John, tell me about Mr. Christopher.
He has a tattoo on his arm. He knows all about sharks.
Why did he quit going to sea?
Because he doesn't have a ship.
Why not?
Because it sank.
How? What happened to him?
Sometimes the men make fun of him. Once they gave him a bottle with a boat in it. They said he could get as drunk as he wanted, but he couldn't wreck this one.
Did they now?
Mr. Corning?
Oh, yes, Dr. Grimes.
You compose a most provocative wire, Mr. Corning. I came as soon as I could.
What are you drinking, Doctor?
No, thank you. Now, where's this so-called case of possession?
I'm glad to hear you sound so skeptical, Doctor. Doctor, I tried to reach you this morning to tell you not to come, but you'd already left. When I first wired you, Doctor, I was in a kind of strange state of mind. I'd just seen something my senses couldn't accept. So I wanted an explanation, so I turned to you.
Well, who's the possessed party? You failed to say.
I was ashamed to say.
In heaven's name, why?
Well, because it's an animal.
Oh, my word. Oh, hold on. You said it spoke. Is it a parrot?
No, it's a raccoon, Doctor.
Oh, no. Isn't that splendid?
So you see why I was a little hesitant to...
Oh, indeed, yes. Of course, you realize it's utterly impossible. I mean, the vocal cords, the tongue.
It is funny, Doctor, but it's cruel, too. There's already been barn burning.
I pray the men were caught.
Yes, the trial's due to end today, but the hating won't end, Doctor. You see, a cruel joke is being played on the people of this village.
Well, do you know by whom?
Yes. A man by the name of Christopher. He's been bitterly hurt by the people of this village. Now he's getting even. It was he who found the animal in the first place. He's well educated. He speaks several languages. And I'd be willing to bet my last dime he's also an accomplished ventriloquist. Although where he learned that, I don't know.
Well, one is very often born with a gift of ventriloquism. Well, in any case, I would like to have a chat with our little raccoon friend.
I just have time to stop by the farm before the court opens. Any policeman can point out the way to you.
You aren't coming?
No, I think I'm going back to Providence for now, Doctor. What I've seen around here has made me a little bit sick. But I may stop by on my way to the station.
Yeah, try by all means.
Good luck to you, Doctor.
Thank you. Oops, sorry.
My fault. What's this I hear about you going back to Providence, Corning? You can't leave till the trial's over. They'll be found guilty. There'll be a riot in this village like nothing you've ever seen in your life.
That'll suit you right down to a T, won't it?
I couldn't care less about these savages. It's the animals.
Oh, come on, man. The game is over. The joke is played out.
What joke?
Your P.T. Barnum sideshow. Your black-eyed blonde witch and her Gabby raccoon. And before I leave here, I'm going to tell that child and their father all about their friend, Mr. Christopher.
One of the doctors is in there.
I know.
If he tries to buy Roger, we'll run away. He's mine.
Of course he is, Joan.
Maybe Roger will bite him.
Maybe you will. Joan, has Mr. Christopher been here today?
No, not today.
It's too bad. Now, the doctor will never hear Roger talk. Joan, I want you to know the
Oh,
truth.
they talked.
The what?
They talked.
What does she mean?
What?
Well, Joan here tells me that you and Roger have just been having a nice little talk.
We did. We talked together for 15 minutes in classical Greek. Not just talk, a a discussion.
It's impossible. Christopher wasn't here.
No. No, he wasn't.
We'd best be getting to the trial. Coming, Mr. Corney?
Christopher wasn't there.
It was always a simple one. Whether John Marlott, Emery Link, and John James did, in fact, set fire to the Goss barn as charged. Certainly, supernatural hearsay was not evidence and was not admissible. Therefore, since each of the defendants has admitted his guilt, this court finds John Marlott, Emery Link, and John James guilty of arson as charged. Have you anything to say before sentence is passed?
Aye. You can do what you want with us now. It doesn't matter. Samuel, does it matter?
No! Because the devil is dead now!
Déjame sola. Che l'heure est-il? Bringe den Wagen.
So,
Ci dice, popolo, dice veramente un posa. Perché lei è un mostro. Pieno di confusione, d'errore.
He who speaks of the people speaks of a madman. For the people is a monster.
Tirez le rideau. La farce est jouée. Denn allen sich auf Brach auf Erden.
all guilt is avenged upon earth.
Amigos de este siglo. Rostros humanos. Corazones de fieles. Al juego de los malos. Al juego de villanos. Al peso de los años. Lo eminente se rinde. Que lo eminente se rinde que lo fácil de tiempo. No hay conquistas difíciles. No hay conquistas difíciles. No hay conquistas difíciles.
Betty Randall, is it you? Is it you talking to this child? Answer me. Have you possessed this child? Answer me.
He falls and they kill you. My fault. My love.
She was the one. All the time, she was the one.
Come away. Come away, death. And in sad cypress let me be laid. Fly away. Fly away, breath. I am slain by a fair, cruel maid.
Fly away, breath. I'm slain by a fair, cruel maid. No, of course it wasn't the raccoon who spoke 7 languages, including classical Latin and Greek. It was a young girl who had never been to school in her entire life. Who was Joan Goss? Was she one of the world's geniuses? Or one of the world's most tormented souls? Or both? We shall never know, because 6 months after the trial, she was dead. She didn't die in a burning barn like Betty Randall 3 centuries before her. She died in a cool hospital burning with scarlet fever. In that little New England town, there are some who still claim that Joan Goss was indeed possessed by the spirit of Betty Randall, who was in so many ways like her. And sadly, there are a few who say it's a good thing she died so young, before, as they say, she could do any real harm, or before science could really investigate her. When in the world will we ever be strong enough to face that which we don't understand? But without fear. Face it with hope.